everyone, welcome back. Episode 100. Can you believe it, Mark?
I know, right? It feels like just yesterday we were geeking out about, well, everything. Time flies when you're unraveling the mysteries of the tech universe.
Totally. And today's mystery is a big one. The U.S. tightening restrictions on advanced computing chips going to China. This is huge.
Oh man, this is the cool part. So basically, we're talking about the most advanced semiconductors, the kind that power AI, supercomputers, all the cutting-edge stuff.
Right, and these new rules are like, hold up, not so fast, to companies that make or package these chips.
Exactly. They've expanded the licensing requirements. It's kind of like, you know when you need a special permit to, handle exotic animals? It's like that, but for advanced chips.
Haha, love that analogy. So, why the sudden crackdown, Mark? What's the big picture here?
Well, here's the thing about advanced semiconductors. They're not just for your everyday gadgets. They're critical for military applications, for building super advanced AI systems. I was just reading about this, and apparently the U.S. is concerned about these chips ending up in the wrong hands, potentially giving other countries a military edge. This absolutely blows my mind.
Okay, wait, let me get this straight. So it's a national security issue? Like we're talking about the potential for a tech arms race?
Precisely. Think about it this way. If you have the most advanced chips, you can build the most powerful weapons, the most sophisticated surveillance systems. It's a bit like something out of a sci-fi movie, but it's real.
Wow, that's heavy. So, they've got this thing called the Entity List. What's that all about?
The Entity List. That's basically a list of companies and people who the U.S. government thinks are involved in, shall we say, not-so-friendly activities, like developing advanced tech for military purposes that could threaten national security.
I've been thinking about this, and it seems like they are adding more names to this list, right? To kind of tighten the net?
Totally. They recently added a bunch of A&I companies, including one called Softco Technologies. Let me break this down real quick. These companies, according to the U.S. Commerce Department, are working to help China develop its own advanced chips, which, raises some eyebrows.
Hold up. Can we break down that military-civil fusion term? I have to ask the obvious question. What exactly does that entail?
Right, so military-civil fusion is this idea that a country is blurring the lines between its civilian tech sector and its military. It's like a company might be developing AI for, say, self-driving cars, but that same tech could also be used for military drones. See the connection?
You know what this reminds me of? That whole debate about tech companies sharing data with governments. It's like, where do you draw the line between innovation and national security?
Exactly. And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, Gina Raimondo, the Secretary of Commerce, she said, and I quote, "The Biden-Harris administration is committed to preventing the misuse of advanced U.S. technology and curbing the national security concerns raised by the PRC's military-civil fusion." So, they're trying to walk that tightrope.
This might sound weird, but what about the companies that are not on the entity list yet? How are they affected?
That's a great question. See, even if you're not on the list, these broader licensing rules mean you still have to jump through more hoops to export advanced chip-making equipment. It's like the rules of the game have changed for everyone.
Okay, let's back up for a second. How does all of this impact the average person? Like, what's the real-world effect?
Well, think about the global supply chain. Semiconductors are in everything. Phones, cars, medical devices. If there are restrictions on the most advanced chips, it could potentially slow down innovation in those areas, or at least make it more complicated.
Right, and I can already hear our listeners thinking, will this affect the price of my next smartphone?
Time-sighted laugh? Right? Isn't that wild? It's all connected. But also, it's not just about prices. It's about who gets access to the most advanced technology and what they do with it.
So looking ahead, what's the big takeaway here, Mark?
Well, I think it's clear that the U.S. is taking this very seriously. They're trying to maintain their technological edge, especially when it comes to advanced chips. And, this is probably just the beginning. I was just reading about this. And there is also talk about increasing global cooperation on these export controls, working with other countries to create a more unified approach. Wait, it gets even better. They might also focus more on technological autonomy. Different countries trying to become more self-sufficient in these critical areas.
It's like a whole new chapter in the tech world, and it's unfolding right before our eyes. This has been such a fascinating conversation, Mark.
Totally. And, it just goes to show how technology is so intertwined with, everything. National security, global economics, even our daily lives.
Absolutely. Thanks for breaking it all down for us, Mark. And thanks to our listeners for tuning in to another mind-blowing episode of our podcast.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those chips, well, maybe not too close to the military.
Haha, good one. See you next time.